Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Birminology on Lettermen Row. It is a commitment edition of Birminology, and it is a 2021 commitment from a tight end from Aurora, Colorado, who I don't know if Ohio State fans know much about you, Sam, but I want to introduce Sam Hart to Lettermen Row readers. We did talk to you a little bit after your visit a month ago. First and foremost, congratulations on the decision. Why
Thank
now?
you.
Why now?
I don't know. It's just it feels right. So I didn't know like if like why I would wait. So just like yeah.
What is it about Ohio State? You've been there twice.
Uh-huh.
What was it about those visits that kind of pushed them over the edge? I know when we talked after your visit for the Penn State game, you did say that you thought they were at the top of your list, but what happened in the last month or so to push it beyond just the leader and into this new uh, mode in the decision?
Yeah, I was thinking about it for a little bit, and the coaches they really talked to me. They really stood out. They're awesome, great in this process. And then like I didn't really hear much from any other coaches like they did like at Ohio State, and so I thought it was right and that gut feeling, and I could just it felt like home.
Isn't that one of the weird things about the recruiting process? I mean, you're obviously somewhat new to this. I mean, you're a
Hmm.
2021 prospect, so teams have really been only able to talk to you as much as they wanted since September 1st.
Yeah.
But your 247 sports profile, which has you ranked as the country's 15th ranked tight end and the number 4 player in Colorado, you have 22 offers listed, including Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon, Penn State, a lot of big time schools.
Hmm.
Is it easy to tell quickly which schools mean it and which ones don't in that situation?
Yeah, because usually like the schools they'll talk to you or have you call them and they'll offer you and all that, and then you can tell like if they keep contacting you, then they like have a little more interest. But a lot of the schools will like offer you, and then they just you won't really hear from them much after.
Now, with Ohio State, it's been primarily Tony Alford, some Kevin Wilson, who've been recruiting you. Those two handle Colorado. Kevin Wilson
Hmm.
handles the tight ends. What is the role that they see you filling in Ohio State's offense? And I know that you're walking into a room potentially as a still with a year to go that could have some pretty wide open spaces for a young guy to come in and make an impact.
Yeah, for that's what they said. They said that they're gonna have a pretty open room, a lot of spaces to fill, and I think I'd be a great fit to fill one of the spots. And I could probably get to play early if I work, and yeah, I'll have some great opportunities.
Is that part for you? I'm sure they've told you that they're looking probably at two tight ends in your class. Does
Uh,
that doesn't bother you at all? I know that other schools probably will throw that out there and say, "Hey, do you want to be the guy or a guy?" But how do you handle that sort of discussion from other schools when they inevitably come calling?
yeah, no, I like how it's gonna be like a room full of younger dudes, so I think it'll be a little easier to compete, and we'll be with each other a few more years, and we'll have better relationships, and I like it.
Right now, it's very shortly after Ohio State's pretty heartbreaking loss to Clemson in the college
Mm,
football playoff. When you watch that and you watch the offense, how do you see yourself fitting in? What kind of role? Or is it more what Jeremy Ruckert does, more spread out, lined up in some kind of an H-back situation? Is it more of
mhm.
Luke Farrell, the traditional tight end? How do you see yourself developing down the road? You're right now, what, 6'5", 225 or so?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see myself like right now in my offense. I do a lot of both. So I can see myself being like a mix of both and being able to put anywhere on the field and do what I have to and
How
be
how is the
successful.
how is the way that Ryan Day's used the offense, used the tight end in the offense? How did that catch your eye? What is that part of the process for you? Or I know with Ruckert, when
Hmm.
he came into Ohio State, he was obviously the country's number one ranked tight end, and he made the decision because he wanted to learn how to block and he wanted to learn how to be a complete tight end so
Yeah,
that he could make himself better for the NFL. Is that part of what you're looking at, and is this an
yeah,
opportunity?
for
Because
sure.
go ahead.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I know like they don't pass it to the tight ends a ton, but I know I need to work on my blocking too, and I think that'll really help me.
They don't pass it to the tight end a lot, but they still end up in the NFL. Jeff Hireman, Nick Van Etten, all these
Uh-huh.
guys. Rucker is going to be there. Farrell will be there. But you are turning down schools that traditionally throw the ball a lot more to the tight end. How hard is that in this process when teams are telling you, oh, don't go there, you're going to be, just a glorified lineman? I mean, isn't that a piece of the development that you're looking for?
Yeah, I know they say that, and I watch the tight ends in the games, and I see how they like use them, and I feel like it's like just watching them and seeing how you fit, not listening to what other coaches say.
Is the idea of Ohio State? I mean, you're from Aurora. It's not a huge area. Your high school isn't huge. What was
Uh-huh.
it? What was it about Ohio State, the city, the campus? What did you like? What did you feel was right about the Buckeyes situation?
It's everything. Like the city, like, we drove around for a little bit and saw everything. The city was amazing, lots to do. My mom loved it, and then the campus is just as beautiful, and I can't wait to get out there and see it again.
What happens from here? I mean, obviously, as a commitment now, you're the seventh commitment in your class. It's a group that is
Mhm.
primarily offensive guys. Have you gotten to know Kyle McCord? Have you gotten to know Ben Chrisman, guys like that?
No, I haven't met any of them yet. I met on my last visit to Penn State. I met a 2020, I think, tackle who's committed, and he seems super nice. And yeah,
How important is that? I mean, when you're talking about leaving home, going 1,500 miles away or however far it is from where you are to Columbus.
hmm
I'm not a geography
yeah.
major, but how isn't it super important from now till signing day a year from now that you start, to really grow those relationships? And
Yeah.
how do you see yourself as a potential recruiter of other guys?
Yeah, no, for sure. I know like places like Ohio State, they have a great culture, so they're gonna get great kids. And I know that I'll be a perfect fit, and I'll meet some great dudes, and I'll reach out, find some more great dudes, and see if I can do what I can. And
How did the coaching staff react when you told them? How did you tell them? What was the message? Was it a phone
I
call, a
called,
FaceTime, or what?
yeah, I called Coach Alford, and I told him I'm ready to be a Buckeye, and he was so fired up. He said he was like 5 minutes away from his house, and he kept driving around. He's like he ended up like a half an hour away, and he's super pumped. And then I called Coach Wilson and Coach Day, and they're super fired up, and they can't wait. It's awesome.
Coach Alford and Kevin Wilson were both sort of mentioned as a potential head coach option at Colorado State, a little closer to home for you.
Uh-huh.
In this day and age of recruiting and college football being the business that it is there a danger in getting to know just one coach that well? Or I mean, is there any part of you that's like you're obviously understanding these guys may consider another job down the road,
hmm
but how does that impact what happens from here with you? Because that coach may not be there in a year.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. I have two older brothers that they both went through the process and played college football. So, and they told me about because they both had coaches leave, and they told me that most likely that the coaches when I get there they might not be there. So I've been aware, and I know like with a program like Ohio State, they'll have another great dude coming in to fill the spot if the coach does leave. And
Yeah, the thing about winning is that coaches generally get an opportunity to find another job, which is the
hmm
same as losing because those coaches also get an
yeah,
opportunity to find another job. It's just a slightly different opportunity.
yeah.
Where else have you visited, Sam? And what really separated the Buckeyes from the other schools that you've been to? I know Notre Dame was one that was linked to you a little bit.
Um,
What was it about Ohio State that was different for you than like Notre Dame? Because that's if you look at your 247
um,
crystal ball, the only one on there is Notre Dame. So what was it about Ohio State that was different than the Fighting Irish? And why did they win this battle?
Yeah, I just felt like I had a better opportunity and like I felt like a better fit at Ohio State. I think it could make me a better person and a better football player. And then it's easier to get to like because I know my parents they're gonna want to fly out from Colorado to come to all my games. And it's kind of hard to get to South Bend, and it's a lot easier to fly into Columbus. And yeah, those are a lot of two of the biggest things.
With this decision behind you, the commitment to Ohio State out of the way, what do you do now? Is it you just turn the focus all to getting turned to your senior year? Are you going to do a lot of the
hmm
the big time camps like the opening and that kind of stuff? Are you not into that? I mean, to be quite honest with you, we don't know a whole lot about you, so I want to figure out what makes you
Yeah,
tick.
yeah. No, this I'm right now. I'm just gonna, now that like recruiting is pretty much done, and then I'm gonna focus on wrestling. Last year I took second at state, so I got some unfinished business. I don't want to fall short again this year, and so that's my focus right now. And then I'll for sure take an official to Ohio State this year. And I don't know yet if I'll do any open. I might do the opening, but
Those kind
I
of
don't
things are
know.
weird. I mean, it really is a matter of what you want, because
Yeah.
if you're already committed and you know you're a 3-star tight end in the minds of
Mhm.
people who are not really watching you play football, um, you know the way that you move that ranking is by participating in those camps. But a lot of guys just don't
Yeah.
do it. Jack Sawyer, who's the 2021 commit at Ohio State that I'm sure you'll get to know, the number one ranked
Mhm.
player in the country. He's not into those sort of things either, and it hasn't hurt
Yeah.
him, you know. But do the rankings and does the evaluations matter to you at all, or is it just sort of a nice trophy to have on the mantle? But especially now that you're committed.
Yeah. No, I don't pay attention too much to the rankings and all that. But I mean, I know some people do, like people like on the websites and
Right.
stuff. They'll go look at it, but I don't. Yeah.
I mean, everyone wants to be the best, right? I mean, so it's understandable why people focus on it, but at the same time, it certainly isn't going to determine who you are or what you develop into.
Hmm.
What was your favorite place to eat when you were in Columbus? Do you remember what it was?
Um, our uh, my football coach at my high school right now, he's from Ohio, so he's a big Ohio State fan, and he told me about this. I think it was Rooster, a chicken wing
Uh-huh.
place. I think it was Rooster. It's something like that, and that was really good.
Roosters is right down the street from Ohio State, so I'm sure you'll eat there
Um,
quite a bit in your career.
yeah,
Has your coach being a Buckeye fan and being an Ohioan, did that impact this recruitment?
not too much. He told me a lot about the school, so and he had like connections, and he like helped me through the process a lot. But he knew that he didn't want to play a big factor, so he didn't like influence me a ton. He gave me a bunch of tips about all the schools, and he was
Again,
great.
I'm going to say this because we don't know much about you. You said you had two brothers that went through the process. Where'd they end
Uh-huh.
up, and what was their biggest advice for you throughout the recruiting process?
My oldest brother, he played at Minnesota. He was also a tight end. He played for Jerry Kill and all them. And then he said, like, they both told me, like, go where you feel like you fit the best. Like, what that gut feeling is. Like, it'll come, and
Yeah.
you'll know when it's right. And you go there, just follow your gut. And then my middle brother, he played at New Mexico. He's a middle linebacker.
Do you? And yeah, I know you do play a little defense, but obviously your focus is on offense from here. Where's the one area of
Um,
your game that you feel like you need to make the biggest leap from now until the time you enroll in Ohio State down the road?
yeah, my biggest like improvement that I want to make this upcoming year is my route running and just sharpen it up, and then like my open field blocking like a safety or like a linebacker coming up, and
Is that a
yeah,
matter? Is that a matter of technique or want to?
a little both.
What
Yeah.
do you have a plan for enrollment? I mean, is it wait? Obviously it's you're committing today, right? Like it's a public
Uh,
thing now, but there's a year down the road to signing day. But do you want to enroll early? Are you looking at those opportunities, knowing that tight end room could be wide open? Does that encourage you to speed up the class process and get yourself ready, or is that a discussion that is just way too far down the road?
yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna early enroll. I think I want to finish up high school, enjoy all that stuff, and go to prom and finish up my wrestling season my senior year, and because I'll be in college
Yeah,
like sooner than I know, and then I'll miss high school. And
it gets here
yeah,
fast. Time goes
yeah,
by remarkably fast. So, look, man, I could keep you for a while, but I'm going to let you go. I wanted to again congratulate you on your commitment to
thank
Ohio
you.
State. Lettermen Row readers expect to learn more about Sam Hart here in the upcoming weeks and months. And Sam, thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you
Hmm.
sometime in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, man. Have a great one.
Yeah.